Alright, so today I want to talk about the sprint key. Yeah, so a lot of you know that I made a video a while back when the 1.7 snapshots first came out, talking about how the sprint key is going to be awesome and how it's going to change PvP. And while that's definitely true, I also mentioned stuff about the caps lock key on the Mac and saying how it was going to be so OP and how it's going to be awesome because I can just toggle it on and off and stuff. But I just want to do a reflection after having played with 1.7 for a little bit here. I want to talk about the sprint key. Sorry, I just hit my bottle of water there. I just want to talk about what I think of the sprint key and actually having it on the caps lock or having it on a key for a Mac, and just talk about the sprint key in general, how it has affected at least my PvP experience. Okay, so the first thing, I definitely just want to get this right out and say the caps lock key on the Mac, not nearly as OP as everybody thinks it is or as I thought it was going to be. While it is really nice, you don't have to press a button to engage sprint, you don't have to, leaves you a free finger, I guess you could say. While that's still true, in my experience, it just doesn't give you that huge of an advantage. What it allows is that it allows you to be sprinting almost constantly, which is fantastic, awesome, but what it loses is the precision you get from a key, from just a regular key that you can toggle on and off. Sorry, that's bad. That you press, that you control more. With the sprint caps lock is you're sprinting constantly, like that. You're just sprinting, no matter what. But it's good if you want to do that. Obviously, if you just want to constantly sprint, that's what it's good at. But you lose that finesse control that you need in those really tight PvP situations where it's like 1v1 and it's really close. If you have your caps lock key on, I bet you're gonna lose because you don't have that control, that finesse control over the sprint that I think a lot of good PvPers are going to be. That's what's gonna make the good PvPers, is gonna be when to engage that sprint at the right moment, when to not engage, when is it best to not knock them back so you can get a couple more hits on them before they turn around or something, which is what I really want to come to. I guess this is the main point, I guess, of why I don't like the caps lock key. Just this in my PvP style is I am more of a strafer. I don't do any of that jump hitting stuff. Usually I just run at them and I try to strafe around them. And if you're strafing around them and you get a good strafe on them, right, and they're missing you, you don't want to sprint and knock them away from your perfect strafe, which is what could happen with the caps lock key. Is you go forward a little bit and boom, now they're flying off and you've just broken that perfect, beautiful strafe you had going on there, and you've broken the combo that you've had. With the binding it to a key in general, you'll have more finesse. So that way, if he starts to gain a little ground on you, maybe while you're strafing, then you can knock him away to back off, assess the situation, and then re-engage for another strafe or something like that. However, with the caps lock key, again, as I said, it's cruder. You're not going to get that fine tune. Oh yeah, okay, I don't need to sprint here, because there are cases where you don't need to sprint, especially like if you get up behind somebody, if you have a caps lock key on and you're just hitting them and then you just launch them away from you. You just ruined your whole element of surprise and you gave them 5 meters a head start on you running away, which is not good. And with the sprint key, you could walk up to them and just start hitting them, get like 5-6 hits on them before they even realize and they start to run away. Then you could finish them off with your bow or something. So that's my major thing is the finesse, the control that the sprint key gives you over the caps lock key or a toggle sprint. I find so far to be much more beneficial. So I'm not a huge fan of the toggle caps lock key at the moment. Again, this might change with the more experience. This is just like 2 weeks out of 1.7, I think. Just my experience so far with the sprint key. And so this kind of brings me to my next point, well, I guess it doesn't really bring me to it, but another thing about the sprint key that I don't like is when you have it on caps lock. I tend to actually, this might just be me, I actually tend to run through people after I hit them, which can be good. Depends, and if you turn around real quick and then you get behind them, so then you're basically behind them hitting them, which can be good, I agree. But if you're not used to that, like myself, it's hard for me to turn around quick enough and beat them to the punch. Let's put it that way. Yeah, so I can turn around and start hitting them, yes, but they can do the same to me, so I don't really gain that much of an advantage, and I'm a little bit disoriented too, so it's like, who really won out there? I'm not really sure. I'm on the opposite side, I'm facing the wrong way, I'm disoriented. Yeah, I got that one hit on you, but if you're just, slightly faster than me, I don't know. I'm not liking it too much. But that could be a personal thing. I'm sure there's tons of people out there who have perfected that sprinting and hitting them, going actually through them, and then turning around and getting on the other side of them. I know Juki likes to do that as the Juki. Midnight Society, he plays at the Midnight Society every once in a while. And, yeah, so, like, that's definitely a valid tactic. I'm just not a huge fan of it. And I'm not and I find that it's easier for me to prevent that if I'm using a key instead of a caps lock. Which is what this is all about, really. So that's my tirade on between caps lock key and a bound key on a Mac, and I guess on a Windows. I know Bruno the Miner actually said that he found a way to make it so that the caps key worked on a Windows too. But anyway, that's my tirade. I really like the bound key a lot more. It provides a lot more finesse than the caps lock key, and I think there's just a lot more skill involved with using it, and the caps lock key has a tendency to give you a good, if you're bad at PvP, caps lock key is the way to go for an easy way to gain some, not skill, but ability, some killing ability, I guess. I don't know what to call it. But if you are a high level PvPer and you want to be really good, you want a bound key, because it'll just give you that little bit more finesse. Anyway, that's my tirade. Now I want to talk about just the sprint key in general and how it has affected PvP. Right, so I believe that the sprint key has, people keep complaining about how it's gonna quote unquote ruin PvP and there's not gonna be any skill. I think that's wrong. I think there's still a skill in it, for sure. There's definitely still a skill in it. However, I think it's just new. I was gonna say it might be simplified, but that's not true. No, it's just new. It's gonna take people a little bit more. It's just new for everybody, so it's gonna be harder for people to learn how to PvP. And I think those people who were really good at PvP beforehand are still gonna be really good at PvP now. And I think that's still true. I still get beat by the same people. I might be able to beat a couple more people, but I believe that it's pretty much the same skill wise. I just think it's a different set of skills, and I think that there will be some people who will rise and some people who will fall using the new sprint key. As I was talking earlier, I think the sprint key adds a lot of finesse. Like, I think you'll be able to, there's just so much more finesse you can do with it, I believe. I think comboing will be easier, but I also think comboing at the right time and having situational awareness is going to be a huge factor now, as opposed to just comboing. Like, yes, the people who could combo were gods, but now that everybody can combo, it's going to take even more skill to actually be good at good, I mean like great at PvP. It's gonna take more skill to be one of those people who's just like, wow, I am scared to fight you on the battlefield. So those people, I believe, are just gonna be fantastic, and I believe there are a lot of people out there who are afraid that their skill is going to get diminished, whose skills really is not going to get diminished by the sprint key, and who isn't diminished by the sprint key. And I think it actually adds a whole nother layer, as I was talking about earlier. And I haven't experienced too much, though I have to say that people who lag now seem to get a lot worse of the exchange. I don't know if that actually has to do with the network code maybe that was reworked, possibly. Yeah, so that's not really related to Sprint Key, but that's just observation of PvP in general in Minecraft recently. Besides that, though, I still think it's pretty much on equal footing, and it's pretty much the more skillful PvPer, the person with the more situational awareness, where they're located in relation to other people, is gonna win the fight, for sure. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't think it's changed too much PvP wise, really, although I think it's actually added more skill. I think it's actually added more a higher skill cap, let's say. That's what I'm going for, to the PvP scene. And I really look forward, because I think that there's going to be some really just fantastic PvPers out there who know when to engage Sprint at just the right moment, just so they get hit, knocked back just a little bit, so you can't hit them, but they can hit you. And I think it's going to be great to see that in the future. Anyway, that's pretty much it. That's my reflection on the Sprint Key so far. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully you don't mind my rambling. See you guys in another video. Bye bye.